Howdy, folks. I'm Blunt Basil, brashly berating boisterous bears.
I'm Amber.
And here are more boisterous bears for us to berate. I don't know why we're berating them. I don't know how we're berating them. I guess we're doing it with our little basil leaves. Let's get started. Alright, folks, and our first letter is titled, Am I a Jerk for Blaming My Husband After His Comments Caused His Older Brother to Cut Our Kids Off from Receiving Gifts? I'm a 25-year-old female, and I'm married to my husband, a 26-year-old male. And we have two kids, ages 3 and 5. My husband's older brother, a 29-year-old male, is very successful and financially well off, but has always been distant. He rarely attends family events like Christmas or birthdays, but he sends extravagant gifts for our kids and his other nieces and nephews. Whenever I've met him, he's always been a big man with a serious demeanor. He has made it clear that he doesn't like kids, which has been hurtful, but he still shows some care and thought in his gifts. My mother-in-law has always favored him, defending him even though he's not involved with the family. Well, a couple of weeks ago at a family dinner at my mother-in-law's house, my husband was clearly frustrated and made a comment about his brother being a deadbeat uncle who thinks that he can buy everyone off with expensive gifts instead of actually being present. He said this in front of everyone, including his mom and dad. Well, my mother-in-law immediately defended her son, saying he doesn't like kids and shouldn't be judged for it. My father-in-law stayed neutral. Later, my mother-in-law told my brother-in-law what my husband had said. Furious, my brother-in-law decided to stop sending gifts to our kids if we don't appreciate his gestures. Now our kids are the only ones not receiving anything from him, while the cousins still get lavish presents. It's heartbreaking to see their confusion and hurt. My husband feels guilty, but still thinks that his brother is overreacting. My mother-in-law is fully defending my brother-in-law, saying that he's right to cut us off due to my husband's ingratitude. I confronted my husband about this, telling him how selfish and thoughtless his comments were. I explained that his outbursts hurt our children and left them feeling excluded. He was defensive at first, but eventually admitted that he didn't realize the full impact of his words. I'm still upset. I've never had an issue with how his brother chose to show his affection, and now, because of my husband's outburst, our kids are missing out and feeling left out. Am I the jerk? Alright, folks, what do you think?
I mean, I don't think Opie's a jerk for talking to her husband, but I do think they both seem a bit selfish. I mean, no one is obligated to, like, take care of the kids in the family other than the parents. You know, it's nice if aunts and uncles want to do, like, fun days with the kids and give the parents a little bit of a relief, but they did not choose to have children, and they are not obligated to have children. And it also doesn't sound like Opie and her husband are doing anything to try to maintain a relationship with the uncle, you know, because, like, maybe he doesn't want to hang out with the kids, but they still could, like, give him, you know, a phone call every week or every month, or, like, try and set up an adults thing or something.
Yeah, I mean, maybe there would be a way of inviting him to an adults only type of thing. If he is really has this big of an aversion to children, then maybe that's something that they should accommodate for. As for the husband's comments here, like, if he really feels like his uncle should be more invested in the family, then, I mean, I can certainly understand his frustration. I don't think that he should have said that. But isn't this kind of what he wanted anyways, right? I mean, like, this is, like, he was upset because he keeps buying everyone off with gifts, so this is kind of exactly what he was asking for, right?
Right. Well, what he was hoping was that his brother would start watching the kids for him, probably for free, and that's not how it played out.
Well, it might not even be about watching the kids for free. It might just be sincerely that he wants him to spend time with the kids and is worried that the kids aren't going to have a close relationship with him. So, I mean, I would have a hard time saying what his motives are, but clearly I feel like OP's motives are more about the gifts than anything.
I mean, yeah, Opie seems very gift motivated. The only thing she seems upset with is not that, like, he's cut the kids off, it's that they don't have gifts. But again,
Yeah.
it doesn't sound that the husband and his brother were close to begin with, so I would understand if, like, they were really close, but then, like, he pulled back or something, but it seems like he's just upset that the brother is not doing kid things.
Yeah, and that could be the case. That could be the case. It's really hard to say, but I do think that he got what he wanted, and OP, is upset because they're not being bought out with gifts anymore. I don't know. It seems like an all-around kind of bad situation.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, he's not obligated to give people gifts if he doesn't want to. Plain and simple. But let me know what you folks think. So anyhow, take care and good luck. And Pretzel Mama says he's made it clear that he doesn't like kids, which has been hurtful. Which is hurtful that he doesn't like children. That is his preference. It's not a judgment on you. Just because you like kids doesn't mean that everyone needs to. Instead of actually being present, haha, he's the uncle, not the parent. Just because you chose to have kids doesn't mean that everyone else has to be intimately involved in their lives. Expecting someone you know that doesn't like kids to regularly interact with your kids is very, very entitled. Not the jerk. Your husband was ungrateful and entitled, and he needs to apologize to his brother without expecting anything in return. And eponymous Rock says she's ungrateful and entitled as well. She's dismissive of him, but still wants those gifts. And Sweet D's Nuts says, for real, that's the only reason she's upset. And Senator Bink says, yeah, now they'll have to shell out their own money. The horror. Alright, folks, and our next letter is titled, Am I a Jerk for Refusing to Do Thanksgiving This Year? I'm a 40-year-old female, and I have 6 sisters. My 2 older sisters are 44 and 47, and my 4 younger sisters are 38, 36, and 34, and 32. We've always been a close-knit family, and for the past decade, I've taken on the responsibility of hosting Thanksgiving at my house. I enjoy having everyone over, but it is a lot of work, especially since we all have at least 2 kids each, all in the age group of 5 to 15. It's chaos, but joyful chaos. My husband helps out, but the majority of the planning, cooking, and organizing falls on me. This year, I decided I needed a break. Life has been hectic, and I'm feeling burnt out. Between work, taking care of my kids, 10 and 11-year-old males, and other responsibilities, I'm just not up to the task of hosting a big family gathering. So I suggested that one of my sisters takes over hosting Thanksgiving this year. I brought this up at our family group chat, thinking that it would be a reasonable request, and it's been plenty ahead of time. However, my 2 older sisters, Sarah, a 47-year-old male, and Emily, a 44-year-old male, were not happy with this idea. Sarah has a busy job and a smaller house, so she feels that she can't accommodate everyone comfortably. Emily argued that she's been dealing with a lot of stress lately and doesn't have the energy to host. They both suggested that since I've been doing it for so long, I should just keep the tradition going, especially since my house is the most spacious and I'm the one who knows how to do it right. My younger sisters were more understanding, but they also hesitated to take on the responsibility. My sister Jessica, a 38-year-old, said that she would be willing to help out with more of the preparation if I hosted, but she wasn't confident about hosting the entire event herself. The younger sisters offered similar compromises, but no one was willing to take on the full load. After some back and forth, I stood firm and said that I really need someone else to host this year. I suggested that we could even make a potluck to ease the burden, but Sarah and Emily were still upset. They accused me of being selfish and abandoning a family tradition that I've upheld for years. They argued that I'm the one with the most experience and that Thanksgiving just wouldn't be the same if I didn't host it. Now there's a tension in the family, with my older sisters feeling like I'm letting them down. I feel like I've done my fair share over the years, and it's not unreasonable to ask for a break. But at the same time, I understand that my older sisters are also under a lot of pressure, and that hosting Thanksgiving is a big deal for our family. So am I the jerk for refusing to host Thanksgiving this year after doing it for the past decade? Edit to add, the second eldest, Emily, handles Christmas, so I feel like it's totally fair that she does not want to do both. So she does not cook though, she hires a catering company, but it's still a lot to take on regardless. Alright folks, what do you think?
No, not the jerk. I mean, it sounds like Opie has been doing a lot of work for a very long time, pretty much on her own.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's understandable that she's burnt out, and I think the sisters expecting her to keep doing this when she's burnt out and calling her selfish. No, they're the ones who are being selfish. They just don't want to pick up the slack. You know, and so it might be a good idea to just do like a catered thing if maybe they can all like pitch in, rent a place and get it catered, and make sure they all have their own like tasks they have to do so the burden doesn't fall on any one particular person.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think OP has the right idea with the whole saying is a potluck type thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Make it a potluck. That way everyone has to bring in one dish, right? Or just say everyone has to bring in one dish. And then that way it reduces the load on OP. And OP's contribution can be the house itself, right? And organizing that.
Well, I would say not at Opie's house because
Oh, yeah.
there's so much cleaning and prep work that goes into hosting a gathering. It seems like that all the extra prep work is part of the issue too for OP.
Well, then maybe, offer to have, the sisters come and help and clean up and stuff like that too. And say, well, I'll host it, but everyone needs to actually clean and whatnot after the Thanksgiving.
And that's like it's easier said than done. That's why I feel like a neutral location, like renting, if they can afford it, renting, like a venue, a small venue for the event might be a better option.
Yeah, it might be. It might be. I mean, if OP doesn't feel like their sisters would actually uphold their word, then certainly like having a neutral location would probably be the best. But if OP feels like they can actually trust their sisters to do the right thing and actually hold to their agreements, then I mean, I don't think there's anything wrong with OP setting up some kind of agreement where they take care of a bulk of the work, even though because it sounds like OP has the most space, so it would make sense if OP does have it at their place, but again, right, only as long as everyone is willing to pull their fair share. Which, I mean, maybe everyone needs to start doing a little bit more during Thanksgiving from now on.
Well, it's what it sounds like. It sounds like Opie has been doing basically everything. Her sisters haven't really been pitching in,
Hmm.
and so that's why I wouldn't necessarily trust them to step up now.
Yeah, I just think that OP needs to draw a line in the sand and say from here on out, you know, you're going to help out with Thanksgiving. But let me know what you folks think. So anyhow, take care and good luck. And OPE has some additional context here they've added to this. Yeah, it's never been a potluck. Jess brings rolls because mine turned out like hockey pucks at the first couple of years. I'm not the best baker, and it's kind of a running joke on Thanksgiving. I buy the desserts from my local bakery that we all love. Other than that, I make the traditional turkey. My husband does a deep fried ones. And then I make the traditional stuff, mashed potatoes, green beans, sweet potatoes, cranberry sauce, and that kind of thing. Oh, and lumpia. Always lumpia, and tons of it. My sisters come over the weekend before, and we spend half of the night drinking and laughing and rolling hundreds of lumpia. I only started hosting after our mom's passing. Before that, this always happened at her house, which is the house that my youngest sister lives in with her family. I mostly took it on because I was afraid that we would all just drift apart if we didn't gather at least once a year. I'm just so tired. This year has been a rough one. Yeah, that sounds like a lot for OP.
Mm-hmm.
And Laurel Crash says, oof, they have nerve. No, of course you're not the jerk. You've been doing the lion's share and want a break. How dare you? And your sister's using the excuse that she's stressed. Well, guess what? Welcome to adulthood. We're all stressed here. You may consider mentioning once more the possibility of a potluck at someone else's house, and maybe even offer your guidance for whomever decides to take on the task, but that would be about it. You've done more than enough. And OP replies, I think that I need to edit and add that Emily, the second oldest, does handle Christmas, so I totally get why she wouldn't want to do both this year. Alright folks, and our next letter is titled, Am I a Jerk for Refusing to Pay for a Wedding Portrait Because My Friend Sexualized Me in It? My friend is a painter, and I have seen her work, and it is beautiful. I asked her if she would be willing to paint a portrait of me and my husband on our wedding days, in our wedding outfits. I thought that it would be a good 1-year anniversary gift. I have seen her work, and she can do realistic paintings of people. She asked for a reference painting, and I gave her a few pictures and gave her a $300 deposit. In total, we agreed on $700 total. She showed me the painting yesterday, and my husband looked great, but I looked completely different. In short, she sexualized me, and I find it so gross. The painting has me with huge boobs. I don't really have any. I'm a A-cup due to running. My wedding dress was showing more skin. She even added a split to my dress to show more leg. I don't look like that in any of my photos that I gave her, and I find it really gross. I told her that I wouldn't be paying for her and that she needed to fix it or she can keep it. This caused a huge argument. She thinks that I'm a jerk for not paying for it, and I'm pointing out the stuff above. It's going around with my friends. Some think that I'm being petty and others are standing by me. Alright folks, what do you think?
Not the jerk. She didn't deliver what you asked for. if she wanted to, like, and if an artist wants to make sweeping changes to what's been requested, they have to usually send like a mock-up or an explanation to make sure to get that it's
Yeah.
okay with the person who commissioned it.
Yeah.
You know, you wanted a very specific thing. She gave you something very different from what you asked for, so she's not delivering the product you were paying for.
Yeah, I think that's the biggest issue here. This is one of those situations where OP gave them very specific requirements, the friend took some artistic liberty, and OP doesn't appreciate it. And if you're an artist and you take artistic liberty, especially these big of sweeping changes, then you have to expect that your client isn't going to be happy about it. And I think that OP is right for refusing to pay and should say, well, stand by their statement here. I don't think this is unreasonable at all. But let me know what you folks think. So anyhow, take care and good luck. All right, folks, it is tea time. Grab your beverages of choice. I've got some tea right here. And Amber, she has a very funny joke, and I will laugh at it.
Why was Dracula so unpopular at the vacation resort?
Because he would suck people's blood. I mean, that would make you pretty unpopular, I would think. I think that would make people kind of turn against you, maybe get their pitchforks and torches and stakes.
He was a pain in the neck.
That's what I said. That's what I said. And I have Earl Grey. Alright, folks, that's all the time we have for today. Thank you so much for watching. Happy Terrific Tuesday, folks. I hope your Tuesday is off to a great start. Amber, we need some kind of moral advice and or guidance, and please have it a new take on an old adage.
Don't trash the hand that gives your children gifts.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that works. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you all tomorrow.
Bye.